Welcome to the Marketing Pulpit Show, and I am Robert Gatewood, your host. We are here every Friday at 10:30 a.m. bringing you the good of marketing gospel. We're not saving souls, we're saving businesses, saving jobs, saving our community. Now, if I happen to save a soul along the way, don't hold that against me. We'll just call that icing on the cake. Now, the mission at Marketing Pulpit Show is to build strong businesses in our community so that we can put our people to work. And we do that with business development, job creation, and service. So if you ever find yourself in a business crossroads and not sure which way to turn, I'm Robert Gatewood, and I am a business developer. Glad to be here on this Friday, and I am your host today. I have a company called Gatewood Marketing and Web. I'm also an adjunct professor at Prince George's Community College in the Washington, D.C. area. I've written a couple of books, one called Played in Full and one called Smarter Than the Boss. And so I've been at this for a minute. And the mission of this show is to build these businesses and put people to work. And today we're glad to continue with our theme of Black Business Month and honoring and recognizing the contributions of Black businesses. And we have an interesting show today. We're going to ask this question: what are the risks and rewards of wearing that Black business label? I've had this question posed to me many times over the course of my career as a business developer, as towards helping people become the best they can be and build their business and their brand. We're going to tackle that topic today. As the old saying about the ice water being colder in somebody else's chop, and we're going to deal with all of that coming up right here on the show. I'd like to welcome everybody tuning in for the first time. Welcome to the show, and just ask the question, where have you been? But it's never too late. You can catch up by going to marketingpulpit.com and watching past shows. And you can watch this show live right on the homepage. If you're tuning in on Radio 1 WL 95.9 FM, where we're also broadcasting live, go to the homepage of Marketing Pulpit and you can find the Radio 1 link. You can find Facebook. You can listen to us on LinkedIn. You can listen to us on YouTube. You can also listen to us on Twitter. So we have several ways of getting this vital information out to our audience. And thank you again. And once again, thank you to our past listeners who've been tuning in over the years. People like Brother Brown and Idea Gear, William Maxwell, and all the folks that are tuning in on a regular basis. And if you have a comment, you can call the number 1-800-450-7876 at Radio 1, or you can tune in and put your comments into feed. If you're later tuning in on one of these social media platforms, you can actually put your comments in the feed, and we will shout you out on the airwaves. We got an exciting show. We got some events coming up also. And if you're a business owner and you want to promote your company and your events, we have the best platform out there. It's called mpi.bz. It's the Marketing Pulpit Business Directory, and it is on fire. I'm not sure why you're not in it, because we do have some free platforms and some of the most recent people to join. Let's see, we have Bundle of Books. Author Tracy Reed, she's a mother of 3 in the DC area, and she has an upcoming book called There Is a Bully in My House. Man, I can't wait for that one to come out. There'll be a bully in my house. So that's coming up. Let's see, who else we have in the directory here? Let me just look at some of these intriguing organizations and that are joining the directory. We have Jessica Johnson Law Office from National Harbor. She specializes in estate planning. She has just joined the directory this week. We have Hope Fellowship Church out of Daytona Beach, Florida. We also have Vestile Immigration Law out of Davison, North Carolina. But go to mpi.bz or just go to marketingpulpit.com and click on the business directory and add your business to this directory. We got a better platform that's probably better for you than some of these other platforms. If you're spending money on Facebook and Instagram and Twitter and YouTube, we have it all right here. And not only do you get our platform, but we also broadcast and promote you on those platforms as well. And we also have a package that gets you on Radio 1 95.9 FM. Go to Marketing Pulpit Business Directory, and you can see a couple of our past guests, the 222 Productions. You can see the activity in the studio. You can also see attorney Margot Thomas, who was on the show a couple of weeks ago. We have some footage from those activities, their appearance over at Radio 1. It's on the homepage at mpi.bz. Or you can go to marketingpulpit.com and you can see the directory link up on the navigation bar. We have some events coming up that you don't want to miss. Employ Prince George's. I will be personally teaching a course next week on August 17th at the National Harbor, The Power of Branding. Also, Level the Playing Field, a nonprofit, Gentle Hands and Feet. They're out of Bowie, and they'll be having an event over at Crest Hill Baptist Church. And let's see, the 40th anniversary celebration of the Northern Virginia Black Attorneys Association. They're having a convention at the Salamander Resort over in Middleburg, Virginia, coming up on August 24th. Stop Killing Us rally out of Wadesboro, North Carolina. Wadesboro is a small town in North Carolina. Matter of fact, my hometown, and they have been dubbed the murder capital of the state. So Minister Curtis Gatewood is holding a rally, and they have gotten some phenomenal support. Sponsors just falling out of the sky. The school system, the healthcare agencies, they're all rallying around trying to put an end to this violence that's gripping not just Wadesboro and North Carolina, but the country. And so that's going to be like ground zero for stopping this killing across the country. Also, Productions, 222 Productions, having a networking event at the MGM Grand this coming September 2nd. And Minister of Wellness, Nathaniel, he's going to be having an event on September 26th over in the Washington, D.C. area. And so we have a lot going on. So go to Marketing Pulpit. You can find out about all of the events that are happening and register. Get your business in that directory so we can actually shout you out on the air as well. Let's see, let's talk about a few items that are going on in the news. Like you say, we're also celebrating Black Business Month. And we're going to talk about some of the challenges and opportunities that are associated with being a Black business. And not just being a Black business, but declaring to the world that you are a Black business. Many Black businesses operate undercover. Some wear it across their forehead. We're going to talk about the pros and cons of each approach and what you should ask yourself before taking that type of stance. So we're going to be talking about that later in the show. Let's talk about some of the items in the news quickly. Let's see. Well, the writers' strikes, the writers are they're going to restart the talks because there's been this writer's strike going on. And according to Billy Porter, these talks are none too soon. He actually declared that he has to sell his house due to the Hollywood strike. And he slams Disney CEO Bob Iger. I mean, I respect Brother Porter, but man, that's living a little close to the edge if you ask me. I don't think this strike, what has been going on about a few months now. You shouldn't have to sell your house after a couple of months of no income. I'm just going to say that to everybody out here. I don't care if you're making $200 a week or $2 million a week. You've got to get your income and your living expenses in line so that you can put away a few months. You shouldn't have to sell your house after a couple of weeks or couple of months. So that's just some general information. So I was kind of surprised to see that. And I know the people in Hollywood, they have a different pay system. They get paid like by the day. You go to a set, you might get paid $1,000 a day. And people think you're making all this money. You go for 3 days, you might get $4,000. But it's not quite like that. So I understand, Brother Porter. But still, if that's the life you've chosen, you've got to make your income match your lifestyle. Because I know sometimes whether it's entertainment, whether it's sports, people like to ball. They like to become ballers with the money and not realizing they got to stretch that money out when it's coming in. Let's see, what else? Here's an interesting story about technology also. A woman was fired after the company used keystroke technology to monitor her work from home. So I'm just going to put out another note for people out here who are working from home. This hybrid thing and work from home became very popular during the pandemic. But many companies have adopted it as the way going forward. But if they give you that company computer, you can't be out at the mall at Walmart and going playing golf and so forth, inspecting those companies not to know what you're doing, particularly if they're providing the computer. And sometimes they even download software on your existing computer that they can measure your keystrokes. Now, they're not necessarily concerned about every second that you spend on a day. I mean, I noticed that some of you, that's what you think. Well, maybe some do. But if you have gone an entire day and you haven't touched your keyboard, you've made 2 keyboard strikes, and you're a typist, they're going to say something wrong. Well, anyway, this lady got fired because of her inactivity on her keyboard. Just know, Big Brother is real and he's watching. Let's see what else is going on. A university professor, president, stepped down after stirring a backlash for liking certain political tweets. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, I've been like the number one person beating this drum. You have to really be aware and conscious of what you're doing online. I'm not saying it's right or wrong. I'm just saying it is what it is. If you're out here online, tweeting, liking, sharing, it doesn't even have to be your words. Somebody else could have said it and you liked it or tweeted it or shared it, retweeted it. That can come back to hurt you. I'm not saying you have to sit there and bite your tongue or your lip and be this passive person that can't speak his mind because of the First Amendment and so forth. I'm just saying, be aware. These are different times. There's political division like we've never seen before, and people are watching your every move and your every word. So this university president found out the hard way. He effed around and found out that you can't just be retweeting anything that people put out here on the internet. Let's see, what else is going on? Beyonce came to the football stadium here in Maryland this past weekend, and this is something I didn't realize. I don't know if it was at the Maryland stadium, but they're saying in general, there is also a ticket for listening only. That's really interesting, though. I must admit, that's rather enterprising. In other words, you buy a ticket, this ticket was like $157, where you can't see Beyonce, but you can hear her. So you might be behind the studio, up in a tree, down in the ditch, but as long as you can hear her and you're in the midst of the activities, the hoopla and the jamming and carrying on, you can still say you went to the concert, and I guess it impressed all your friends, but you didn't tell them that you were in the bathroom, that your ticket. I'm just telling, man, the people pay the cost to be the boss or to see the boss. There's no limit to the things that people are willing to pay for. So I thought that was very interesting. So what we're going to do, I'm telling you, boy, I don't think I would buy one. I'm just going to tell you, I don't think I would be buying the $157 ticket or the $700 ticket. I mean, Viet Bay, she's earned all the accolades that she's gotten, but I just can't do it. I'm not going to be paying for a ticket down in the valley, and I'm not going to be paying $800 to set up on the near the stage either. So, it's all what you do. I'm not knocking anybody who does it. I know some people. Some of my clients went. I said, man, more power to them. I just don't have the time. And plus, like I said, I'm not in her demographic, so you can't use me. I'm just an old head here trying to help grow businesses. What we're going to do, we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we're going to jump right into our topic about Black businesses on this Black Business Month. And you need to hear this. You need to share this. You need to tell somebody to tune in. We're going to talk about what are the pros, the cons, the risks, the rewards, the challenges, the opportunities of wearing that Black business moniker or label. Some people do, some people don't. Some kind of they're on the fence. We're going to talk about it. Whether you should or not is up to you, but I'm going to put out some information that you will find very interesting. So I want you to hang on, and what we're going to do, I'm going to take this quick break. This is the Marketing Pulpit, and go to marketingpulpit.com, go to mpi.bz, get into our directory, and tune in and share this show, this information with others so they can get this good information, this good feeling as well. So hang on a second. This is the Marketing Pulpit. We'll be right back in a moment. Don't go anywhere.
Let me explain why we are not your typical directory. First and foremost, we don't wait for visitors to come to our directory. Instead, we proactively take our members directly to the shoppers with our aggressive advertising campaigns. For instance, we broadcast our own radio show on Radio 1WOL 95.9 FM, on which we constantly promote the directory and its members. In addition to that, we advertise our directory on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and LinkedIn. We also feature our members on individual social media posts. And we invite our members into our studio to tell their exciting story to thousands of potential buyers. So if you're looking for an affordable and effective way to build your brand, find new customers, and grow your organization, do what hundreds of others have done. Join the Marketing Pulpit directory at mpi.bz and get featured on the internet and on the air. Thank you for joining and happy selling.
We are back. We are back. Thank you again for tuning in to the Marketing Pulpit Show. I'm Robert Gatewood. I'm your host. Catch me right here every Friday at 10:30 a.m. We're celebrating 13 years this year, and it's really made possible by people that support us, continue to support us. People like our sponsor, BLE Executive Suites. They have the 3 magnanimous locations in the Washington D.C. area. If you have a business and you need location like an office, a receptionist, accounting services, they have these great executive suites. Somebody answering your phone, they give them coffee when they come, these great training and conference rooms. They have a location in the harbor, not right across the street from the MGM Grand. They have the location in Largo, Maryland, and they have a location in College Park, which is a hub zone for you folks who are trying to get into government contracting. So they have all your business needs covered. So call them at 301-322-1700 or go to blesuites.com. Miss Bernadette Clay and company are doing a great job over there. We're glad to be associated with them. They also have their first Friday networking event every first Friday of every month. We had a great turnout this past Friday, and I was there, and I'm always there introducing and emceeing and keeping the crowd entertained. So check the website for the next first Friday event coming up. Let's get to our topic right now. This is the Marketing Pulpit Radio Show. I'm Robert Gatewood, your host. Our topic today is, what are the pros and cons? What are the risks and rewards of being, not just being a black business, but wearing that black business label? Well, first of all, how do people know you're a black business? I get people asking me all the time. They come to me for a website or some literature, and they say, well, don't put that black person on the front page of the website, or don't put that person on the literature, or I'm trying to be neutral, or they rarely do things that would identify themselves. Then others, they want it all black. They want it everywhere. They want to put it all over the place. Well, the one way you can let people know, if you want to, you can just really state it in your about section on your home page. You can say, we are a black-owned business in such and such a place. Some people do that, and I don't question why they do it or why they wouldn't do it, but that's just the way some people do it. Also, you can put like a picture of the owner on the website. That sums it up pretty nicely. There's nothing subtle about that. Then there are subtle ways that you might let people know without really just coming out and saying it. So you kind of leave it like in that gray area, like your imagery, your photos, or your organization affiliation. Like if you're a member of the National Bar Association, a lot of people don't realize that is actually the Association of Black Attorneys, where the American Bar Association is open to everybody. And so sometimes there are subtle ways of letting people know that you're a black business or black-owned business. Now, while it can be empowering, there are some risks associated with being a black business. One, and we all know this, is discrimination. Racism and discrimination has not gone anywhere in this country. And some people will refuse to do business with you simply because of the color of your skin. We have to deal with that. Another one that's very popular reason that it's risky at times is because it's the old ice is colder syndrome. That means other people's ice is colder than the ice of the black business. In other words, their services are more superior, or the black business services are inferior by the fact that they are a black-owned business. And that is a perception that still lingers and persists to this day. Then there's an unintentional messaging sometimes of that you are targeting black businesses because you're a black business. So sometimes people see that because you're a black business, your audience is other blacks. And sometimes that unintentional messaging may discourage other people from using your services. Another risk is that sometimes people, because you're a black business, people expect you are wealthy and that you're able to assist beyond your means. And sometimes we're pulled into that. It's because, okay, we're a black business, we're a leader in the community. So people are constantly asking you to contribute to causes and donating and offering discounts. So that can sometimes be a challenge and one of the risks of being a black business. And also the fifth risk I'm going to say is the one strike rule. unfortunately, not just in our community, but in other communities as well, Black businesses tend not to get the second, third, and fourth chance that other communities get. And sometimes that goes back to that ISIS quota syndrome or the perception that the quality service is just not there. We know that's not the case, but it is a big perception and it's a problem. And one of the risks you run when you patronize or when you put your name out there as a Black-owned business. Now, one of the things we're gonna let's talk about some of the rewards of a Black-owned business. But before we do that, we're gonna we have a caller calling in. Let me put him on the speaker here. Good morning, caller. Welcome to the Marketing Pulpit Show.
Good morning, Robert, and good morning to the Marketing Pulpit family here.
Good morning, William. Welcome. What's your comment today?
Yes, I'm a big advocate for Black businesses. As you know, that's how you and I met.
Right.
I used to do the Black Entrepreneur Business Expo back in the day. And I guess it's catch-22 with putting it out there that you're a Black-owned business because of the cultural conditioning that's happened in this country with Black businesses always being looked upon as inferior or less than or, not as polished or refined as some of the white or Asian counterparts. And I know that for sure one of the things that you and I have been doing over the years with our businesses as well as with things that we've done jointly together, we've tried to help Black businesses raise the level of their marketing, their branding, and just their overall thought process in terms of how they go about interfacing with potential clients and so forth so that they won't get that bad rap.
But Will, I'm going to thank you for your comment. We're going to run out of time here, but this is what I want you to do. Go ahead and put your comments in the social media feed so I can share it with the audience. I'm going to get through this list because I got a few minutes left, okay? But I really appreciate your feedback, and you are right. Okay. We have worked together to make sure that we raise the level of the Black businesses out here, and I thank you for that. Okay, so thanks for calling, brother.
Okay, well.
All right, folks, that's William Maxwell. He has a company called WM Graphics. You can find him also in the business directory. Let's talk about some of the rewards of claiming the name and wearing the label of a Black business. Well, it's increased visibility for people who actually want to support a Black business. And there's quite a few out there that really do. And they can't do that if they don't know that you are a Black business. Another thing is that by default, when you announce that you're a Black business, you are almost automatically targeting a certain niche. Certain people are just going to come to you because of that. So it's almost like a subtle form of targeting. There is also a certain amount of diversity, equity, and inclusion goodwill out here. And so when you are transparent about your Black business ownership and your name, then people who believe in DEI are more likely to come to you and reward you with their business. Sometimes also there's access to funding that's available to Black-owned businesses. And sometimes that funding is not available to businesses of other demographics. So we're talking about some of the rewards of claiming and wearing proudly the badge of being a Black-owned business. Also, by being a Black-owned business, you are promoting diversity. You are empowering people. You are a role model. You are a part of a legacy building. And so by putting yourself out there as a paragon for other people who are aspiring to be Black businesses, then it makes it easier for people to follow and say, look what William did. Look what Gatewood did. Look what Dr. Kathy Hughes did. These are Black-owned people who stuck their neck out there. They're wearing it on their sleeve proudly. And other people who may have been reluctant to jump into the Black business community or start a business in general, they see that it's possible because you made yourself a role model. So those are some of the rewards of proudly proclaiming your Black businessdom. Now, just remember this. As a business owner, one of your first priorities is to survive and thrive. and make sure that you please your stakeholders. And so there is no really right or absolute wrong or right way to whether you should announce you're a Black-owned business or not. But you need to ask yourself these questions. And I want you to ponder them greatly. What is your purpose? What is your calling? Ask yourself that. When you ever get lost along the way, always come back to, what are you doing this? What is the reason you're doing this in the first place? It may not be to make money. It may be to set that example for the next generation. The other thing you need to do is to make sure that you are, by announcing this, how will it impact your audience, your stakeholders? It may help you, it may harm you, so have a very keen understanding of who your audience is. Also, do you have the resources in case this makes your niche so narrow that you're not reaching the broader community? Do you have the resources to sustain a smaller audience? Maybe your business model does not require a mass appeal. Maybe it's targeted towards a smaller group. Do you have the resources, and does your business model support that? Another one, what I want you to do is to ask yourself, are you at peace with your decision to either disclose or hide the fact that you're a Black business? Do you have some type of cognitive dissonance? Are you laying at the bed at night being untrue to my heritage? Am I selling myself out? You have to ask yourself these questions, and you have to live at peace with your decision. And last but not least, ask yourself, what is your end game? How do you plan to exit this business? And that may help determine whether or not you want to proclaim you're a Black business or you want to keep it undercover. Folks, I know this is a tough decision. It's a very touchy subject, particularly in these times. But I want you to take this information, think about it, and then let's go forward and be proud however we proclaim ourselves as a business owner. That's going to wrap it up for today. I want to thank everybody for tuning in. This is the Marketing Pulpit. I'm Robert Gatewood, your host. We'll be back next week at the same time, at the same channel. And if you want to be successful, you have to do these 3 things. Do the right thing, do it at the right time, and you have to do it right. Enough talk. Let's get to work. By giving good service, you are nurturing and building one of your most precious stakeholders, and that's your customers and clients. But because of how you handled it, and because of the mindset and the goodwill and brand that you put out there, you start to attract, if anybody here believes in the law of attraction, you start to attract other companies of like minds to be other stakeholders, such as joint venturers, such as partners, such as vendors, such as suppliers, such as staff. If they start to see your company and your brand in a positive light, it attracts positive influences, and it's going to increase the trajectory of your company.